Beneath the sacred corridors of the Catholic Church in America, a foreboding shadow looms, a generation on the brink of being lost to the annals of time. In a twist of destiny, Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle's removal from his position sent shockwaves through the faithful, spurred by revelations whispered from the depths of Pope Francis's council. The tides of change surged as the leadership of Caritas Internationalis, the Church's humanitarian stronghold, was swept aside. But what secrets lie behind this decision? Join us as we delve into the enigmatic forces shaping Cardinal Tagle's path and the mysteries surrounding his future. In the sacred halls of the Vatican, a quiet prophecy stirred, a vision of transformation long overdue. Pope Francis, ever attuned to the deeper currents of purpose, made an abrupt yet deliberate move. The dismissal of the entire executive board of Caritas Internationalis, including its esteemed president, Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle. Though seemingly abrupt, this decision was neither punishment nor an indictment of failure. It was a moment of divine alignment, an unveiling of a sacred blueprint for renewal. The investigation commissioned by the Vatican revealed no scandal, no embezzlement, nor acts of betrayal. Instead, it exposed a deeper malaise, a disconnection among leaders, a waning of purpose, and an erosion of the harmony necessary for such a vital mission. These shadows had dimmed Caritas's light, threatening its ability to be the voice for the voiceless in a world crying out for compassion. Pope Francis, recognizing the weight of this revelation, acted decisively, guided by the quiet certainty of a greater calling. Cardinal Tagle, revered for his compassion and humility, found himself at the center of this transformation. Though untouched by scandal, he embodied the spirit of renewal, gracefully stepping aside to allow the reshaping of Caritas's foundations. His words, "There are times of building up or reconstruction," resonated as a testament to the sacred nature of this journey, one not of despair, but of rebirth. To guide this renewal, Pope Francis entrusted Pier Francesco Pinelli, a Jesuit-trained architect of change, to rebuild Caritas Internationalis with precision and faith. As the cracks within the organization were revealed, the mission became clear: to rekindle the light of Caritas, to realign its purpose with the gospel values of compassion and justice, and to reignite its role as a beacon for the forgotten and marginalized. This transformation is not merely administrative, it is spiritual. It is a journey through shadows into light, a testament to the enduring power of faith to overcome dysfunction and disarray. Pope Francis's words, "Your dreams are our dreams, your joys are our joys, your pains are our pains," serve as the rallying cry for this new era, a sacred reminder of the Church's mission to heal, to uplift, and to lead. Through this divine realignment, Caritas Internationalis rises again, stronger and more resolute, ready to meet the challenges of a fractured world. Its journey is one of hope, renewal, and an unwavering commitment to the Gospel's call to serve the voiceless. And in the silent prophecy that guided these changes, we are reminded of the unseen forces that shape our world, calling us all to be instruments of light in the face of darkness. In the shadows of human history, certain lives seem illuminated by a divine hand, weaving an unseen tapestry of destiny and faith. Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle's story is not merely one of ambition or achievement, it is a narrative drenched in mystery, guided by the gentle yet persistent pull of the eternal. Born into simplicity amidst the bustling urban landscape of the Philippines, young Tagle's life was shaped by hardship but fortified by faith. His family, though materially humble, was rich in spiritual devotion, teaching him to see beyond the veil of the mundane. From an early age, Tagle radiated a natural charisma, his presence akin to a quiet flame that warmed those around him. Friends and strangers alike were drawn to his generosity and wisdom, sensing a light that seemed to emanate from within. Yet, this light was not immediately directed toward the priesthood. Tagle initially dreamed of becoming a doctor, a healer of the body, but as he often recounted with humor and reverence, the divine had other plans. Subtle signs and sacred whispers led him to the seminary, a path he had not foreseen, but one that seemed predestined. In his words, God's light-hearted hand guided me, turning his steps toward a vocation that would heal not just bodies, but souls. As Tagle delved deeper into his studies at Ateneo de Manila University, the glow of his purpose became brighter. Under the guidance of Jesuit scholars, he encountered a profound harmony between intellect and faith. Here, he learned that theology was not merely an academic pursuit, but a means to address the cries of the disadvantaged and to seek justice for the voiceless. His education was not just an accumulation of knowledge, but an awakening to a higher calling, a merging of the mind, heart, and spirit. Ordained as a priest in 1982, Tagle's ministry was marked by an extraordinary capacity to connect with people. He was not a leader who stood apart, but one who sat with his flock, listening with profound empathy. His compassion, unassuming yet transformative, made him a beacon for those in need. In his presence, many found solace, as if they were enveloped by a light that dispelled the darkness of their struggles. In 2001, Destiny's hand lifted Tagle to the role of Bishop of Imus, a position bestowed by Pope John Paul II. 10 years later, he was named Archbishop of Manila by Pope Benedict XVI. These milestones were more than titles, they were affirmations of a divine mission unfolding. Tagle's leadership was not about authority, but about service, advocating for social justice, fostering interfaith dialogue, and shepherding his community with humility and grace. In 2015, his journey ascended further when he was elected president of Caritas Internationalis. This role presented challenges that tested his resolve: organizational struggles, crises of leadership, and the need for structural transformation. Yet Tagle embraced these trials not as setbacks, but as divine opportunities, moments to rebuild and reimagine. There are times for tearing down and times for building up, he said, framing the challenges as part of a sacred cycle of renewal. Cardinal Tagle's story is not just one of human effort, but of a life intertwined with the eternal. His rise within the Catholic Church feels less like ambition realized and more like a destiny revealed step by step, as if guided by an unseen hand. Were the trials and triumphs of his life written in the stars, or did his unwavering faith and humility allow him to co-author this remarkable narrative with the divine? The answer lies, perhaps, in the mysteries of faith itself, a realm where light and shadow merge, revealing truths only to those willing to walk the path of wonder. What role did Cardinal Tagle truly play in the grand tapestry of this transformative era for Caritas Internationalis? It seems as though his contributions transcended the mundane. His actions resonate as if guided by forces far beyond human comprehension. Perhaps it was no coincidence that the performance audit, which unraveled the organization's hidden fractures, emerged as his presidency neared its destined conclusion. Could it be that Cardinal Tagle, moved by whispers of divine inspiration, had foreseen this moment and encouraged the audit as a necessary act of purification? This reform was not merely an administrative shift, it was a spiritual recalibration. Caritas Internationalis, an organization bound to carry out sacred duties in a fractured world, had lost its alignment with the universal principles of harmony and order. The audit unveiled shadows, dysfunction, demoralization, and stagnation that obscured its true purpose. Cardinal Tagle, though not at fault for these shadows, emerged as a quiet shepherd in this time of turbulence, his presence echoing a divine call to renewal. Pope Francis's decisive actions were like the hand of a master craftsman, shaping a vessel to better serve its divine mission. Yet Cardinal Tagle's role cannot be understated. He was not cast aside but elevated, his transition to President Emeritus symbolizing the wisdom of one who plants seeds but steps back, allowing new growth to emerge. His guidance to interim administrator Pier Francesco Pinelli was not born of obligation, but of profound devotion to the sacred vision entrusted to Caritas Internationalis. At a pivotal plenary session, Cardinal Tagle stood before the assembly, his words reverberating like a hymn of renewal. This is not failure, it is reconstruction. In that moment, he channeled not only humility, but a deep understanding of the spiritual cycles that govern all creation: destruction and rebuilding, death and rebirth, chaos and order. It was as if the organization itself was undergoing a spiritual baptism, preparing for a future aligned with the eternal values of compassion, service, and unity. As Cardinal Tagle moved to his next divine appointment as pro-prefect for the evangelization section, one cannot help but wonder, was this a coincidence or a predestined unfolding of cosmic will? His path, interwoven with the destiny of Caritas Internationalis, calls to mind the universal truths of transformation. Like the phoenix rising from ashes, the organization is poised to transcend its limitations and embrace its higher calling. What mysteries will the next chapter reveal, and how will these changes ripple through the grand mission of the Catholic Church? The Pope, a figure shrouded in sacred mystery, is not merely a leader of over 1.3 billion Christians. He is a divine bridge connecting the temporal world with the eternal, a sentinel standing at the crossroads of human history and celestial truth. His role transcends earthly authority, embodying the delicate balance between chaos and order, guiding humanity with the wisdom of the unseen. In the vast expanse of his responsibilities, the Pope emerges as both a spiritual shepherd and a celestial diplomat. His every word, carried through encyclicals and homilies, is imbued with a timeless power that reaches deep into the souls of believers and skeptics alike. Pope Francis, the current bearer of this sacred mantle, has illuminated the modern world with an otherworldly radiance, his voice echoing as a call to justice amidst a fractured and turbulent society. Yet his mission is far from simple. As the steward of a universal church, the Pope must navigate a world that teeters on the edge of secularism and spiritual disconnection. Like a light piercing through the thickest darkness, Pope Francis has taken on challenges that many would deem insurmountable. He has championed the voiceless, brokered fragile truces among warring factions, and cast a spotlight on the plight of the earth itself, urging humanity to reclaim its covenant with creation. Through his actions, Pope Francis embodies the archetype of the mystical diplomat. In moments of great turmoil, he steps forward, not with mere human rhetoric, but with a wisdom seemingly drawn from realms beyond. His encyclical Laudato Si, for instance, reads less like a policy document and more like a hymn to the interconnectedness of all creation, a sacred reminder of humanity's role as stewards of a fragile planet. Under his watch, the Vatican has become a sanctuary of reconciliation, engaging with nearly 180 nations and seeking pathways to peace in even the most conflicted regions. His calls for diplomacy over violence resonate as a divine plea, urging leaders to see beyond the immediate and into the eternal. Like a celestial envoy, Pope Francis's words and actions weave together the fabric of a fractured world, stitching hope into its seams. Pope Francis's tenure has been defined by a bold vision, a church that is poor for the poor, a beacon of mercy and compassion for the marginalized. His reforms, often controversial, have ignited both fervent support and fierce resistance. Yet his resolve remains unshaken, guided by the conviction that even in the darkest moments, the Church must remain a radiant force for good. as he resides humbly within the walls of the Vatican, shunning grandeur for simplicity. Pope Francis reminds us of the sacred calling embedded in his role. He is not just a leader, but a servant of divine light, a custodian of hope, and a guardian of truths that transcend time. In the face of monumental challenges, climate change, global inequality, and spiritual apathy, he stands resolute, a living testament to the enduring power of faith. What lies ahead for the papacy remains shrouded in mystery, but one truth is certain. The Pope's mission is, and always will be, to illuminate the path for humanity, leading us closer to a harmony that feels divinely ordained. In a world weighed down by centuries of tradition and the gilded rituals of the Vatican, Pope Francis emerged as an enigmatic figure, like a gentle shepherd walking through the fog of orthodoxy, his lantern a beacon for the lost and forgotten. His life, a tale etched in humility and compassion, transcends the role of mere leadership. Born Jorge Mario Bergoglio in the distant heart of Argentina, he carries the essence of the New World, a promise of renewal, a whisper of divine prophecy sent to reshape the soul of the Church. Upon ascending the papal throne, Francis began unweaving the elaborate tapestries of grandeur that cloaked the Church, preferring instead the simplicity of a guest house to the opulence of the apostolic palace. This act alone, a symbolic renunciation of power, stirred the spirits of believers long disillusioned by an institution distant from their struggles. Like a phoenix rising from the ashes of rigidity, he set out to reform a church that seemed lost in its labyrinth of tradition, lighting the path with deeds of mercy and solidarity. Through his encyclicals, Evangelii Gaudium and Fratelli Tutti, Francis proclaims a vision of unity and social justice. He speaks of a church poor and for the poor, one that stands as a guardian for the voiceless and the vulnerable. Each word feels like a ripple in a still pond, spreading far beyond the Catholic faithful to touch the hearts of all humanity. His dream, a church entwined with the lives of the marginalized, resonates like the echo of an ancient bell, calling all to rise above divisions and embrace their shared humanity. Yet his reforms come at a cost. Like the prophets of old, Francis has faced resistance. His call for synodality, a governance system where power is shared among bishops and laity, challenges the foundations of hierarchical control. Shadows linger over the Vatican halls as some cling to the security of tradition, unwilling to surrender authority. And still, Francis presses forward, unflinching, his actions bearing the weight of centuries and the promise of redemption. In global affairs, Francis's influence stretches beyond the confines of the Church. His voice rises against the cacophony of political strife, pleading for justice in the face of economic inequality, human rights abuses, and climate devastation. He appears not merely as a man, but as a figure illuminated by divine purpose, calling world leaders to embrace a new covenant of compassion. Could this be the Church's long-awaited transformation, or merely the prelude to a greater mystery yet to unfold? As whispers of his health spark questions about succession, one name emerges from the shadows: Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle, the Asian Francis. Could this humble successor carry the torch of reform, or will the weight of tradition once again shroud the Church in its gilded veils? The answer, hidden within the fabric of time, beckons us to watch and wonder. In the vast corridors of history, Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle's ascent feels less like chance and more like divine orchestration. Born into simplicity in the Philippines, his rise to prominence carries the resonance of sacred whispers, as if the heavens themselves nudged him toward a greater calling. Tagle, the first Filipino cardinal bishop, embodies a new chapter in the Catholic Church's evolving narrative, representing not only a geographical shift, but also a spiritual recalibration. Tagle's presence in the Vatican is a paradox, a bridge between the Church's ancient roots and its pressing need for renewal. In his role as prefect of the Congregation for the Evangelization of Peoples, he oversees missionary efforts in regions where faith grows amidst adversity. Asia and Africa, continents pulsing with vibrant spirituality, become the fertile grounds of his ministry, even as secularism and shifting cultural tides threaten to erode the Church's global influence. But with great promise comes inevitable conflict. Critics from within the Church's most conservative circles question his alignment with Pope Francis's reformist vision, wary that his progressive stance could further divide an already fragmented institution. To them, Tagle's openness to modern challenges feels too liberal, too far removed from the unyielding traditions of old. Yet to others, he is a prophet of progress, a harbinger of a Catholic Church that embraces humanity's complexities without abandoning its divine mission. The tension is palpable. Tagle stands at the crossroads of tradition and transformation, where sacred rituals meet the demands of a rapidly changing world. His critics may see him as a risk, but his supporters envision a shepherd who can lead the Church through the labyrinth of modernity. He speaks not only to the faithful but also to the marginalized, the disillusioned, and the lost. His words are balm for weary souls seeking solace in an age of uncertainty. Could his potential election signal a momentous shift, a reawakening of the Church's role in the world? Cardinal Tagle's journey, shrouded in mystery yet illuminated by a divine sense of purpose, hints at the Church's next chapter, a story of renewal, resilience, and rediscovery. Within the sacred corridors of the Church, tradition and transformation whisper a tale of delicate tension. Will the Church ascend to unparalleled greatness or fade into the shadows of irrelevance? The journey is perilous, particularly when transparency is met with resistance. The new Pope must navigate these uncharted waters, breathing life back into the Church's role as a sanctuary of solace. As the fog of uncertainty envelops the future, one question lingers. Is Cardinal Tagle the destined torchbearer? Join us as we peer into this spiritual mystery. If you're drawn to uncovering the hidden truths and exploring the mysteries of faith, make sure to subscribe to Path to the Unknown. Together, we'll journey deeper into the enigmatic and profound questions that shape our spiritual world. Don't forget to like, share, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an unfolding mystery.